Hey, hello everyone. Welcome back to my channel. Let's learn with Lizzie. Today we are going to study A Question of Trust by Victor Canning, an important CBSE Class 10 supplementary reader chapter. The story combines crime, irony, psychology, and moral reflection, making it extremely important for board exam preparation. About the author, Victor Canning was a British novelist known for crime, mystery, and suspense fiction. His stories usually involve unexpected twists and irony, and this chapter perfectly reflects his style, where intelligence and trust collide with deception. The story belongs to crime fiction with psychological elements. The central themes include trust versus betrayal, appearance versus reality, morality of crime. Always remember for exams, theme identification is a scoring area. The story revolves around Horace Danby, a seemingly respectable man who secretly steals once every year to buy rare books. Despite careful planning, his trust in a stranger leads to his downfall. This introduces the central irony, a thief being deceived by another thief. Horace Danby appears respectable, around 50 years old, unmarried, successful lockmaker, but internally he is dishonest, passionate about rare books, meticulous planner, but emotionally vulnerable. He steals annually to support his hobby. For exam tips, he is a sympathetic criminal, not a typical thief. Now, moving on to the next character, the young lady in red. This mysterious young lady appears charming and confident. She claims to be owner's wife, actually a very clever thief. Her psychological manipulation shows her calm authority, emotional intelligence, and strategic deception. She represents appearance versus reality. Along with Horace and the young lady, there are some other minor characters like housekeeper who worries about Horace's health, servants leaving house enables theft, and real lady of the house later denies knowing him. These characters help build the plot tension. So now moving on to the summary. Horace lives a double life, respectable citizen outwardly, secret burglar inwardly. He carefully studies Shotover Grange, ensuring servants are away before attempting robbery. This shows his meticulous nature. He enters into the house confidently. He uses kitchen keys, handles dog calmly, identifies safe behind the painting. He even disables the alarm easily. His professional knowledge of lock boosts his confidence. And suddenly, a young woman appears. She claims to be the owner's wife and she threatens to call the police, but she, instead of calling the police, acts very friendly. She requests help opening the safe to get the jewel urgently as she has forgotten the safe combination. Horace becomes psychologically submissive due to fear of prison. Here, emotional weakness overrides the logic. So here comes the climax of the story, the critical mistake done by Horace. He removes his gloves and opens the safe for her and hands over the jewels to her. He leaves thinking he escaped the danger, but actually he is trapped, and this is the story's ironic climax. And coming to the ending of the story, as soon police arrest Horace as they found the fingerprints of Horace Danby in the house, and the real lady denies knowing him. He ends up working in prison library again reflecting bitterly on trust. Moral realization occurs too late in the story. Now let's focus on the title justification. A Question of Trust highlights trust misplaced by Horace, trust manipulated by lady, and irony among criminals. Perfect board answer should mention irony plus betrayal plus moral lesson. Let's now focus on the major themes of the story. Trust versus betrayal. Blind trust leads to downfall as Horace trusts the wrong person, which leads to his punishment. And next, moving on to appearance versus reality. Horace seems to be a respectable man, but inwardly he is a thief. And the lady, who appears to be very charming, is actually a criminal. And finally, moving on to the final theme of the story is crime doesn't pay. Ultimately, wrongdoing leads to punishments. But the lady in the red has some exception, it seems. Now let's focus on the irony in the story. Irony is the central part of the story because just imagine a lockmaker trapped by a thief and careful thief forgets to bring the gloves, and finally the thief is cheated by another thief. So you mentioned these things in your answers. Examiner appreciate literary awareness of the writers. And now let's focus on the symbols used in the story. Rare books are representing the knowledge versus immoral method. The safe is talking about the security illusion of the story. And finally, the flowers and the hay fever represent weakness leading to mistakes. So, what are the mistakes done by Horace? First thing, he was overconfident and he removed his gloves without knowing what is going to happen next. And he trusted a stranger without knowing the reality, and he ignored all the instincts, which led to his arrest. Now let's see what are the moral messages given in the story. So first is the crime eventually fails concept, and intelligence without morality is dangerous. Don't judge by appearance, and blind trust can be harmful. There are certain typical board questions that you have to work on. Some of the short questions are: why did Horace steal yearly? How did Lady deceive him? Why was he arrested? Now, moving on to the long answers: character sketch of Horace Danby, theme of trust in the story, role of irony. Practice the structured answers because it will help you in bagging good marks. Now let's focus on some value points for board answers. Quote the text evidences from the text. It will add standard to your answer. Mention the concept of irony very clearly and include moral perspective. Explain the psychological aspect of the story. Now finally coming to the conclusion, the story A Question of Trust shows complexity of morality, highlights irony of trust among criminals, and leaves a strong lesson about honesty. And that's it for today. If you felt like this video was helpful for you, kindly please hit the like, share, and subscribe button, and see you soon in the next video.